First player here at the top right. You just finished watching him play against Rogue. Now he is playing against Zoun. He's a red Protoss from Alpha X. Yes, Astrea.
And spawning in the bottom left corner of the map, also from Alpha X, as the blue Protoss player, it is Zoun.
Alright, so of course, gonna be probably seeing the same openings to start off the game. Usually it's like 2 gate versus 2 gate. Sometimes we do see 1 gate openings, but my kind of wish is to see one of these players cannon rush in one of these games.
Oh yeah,
It's probably not gonna happen, but one can wish, right?
right. No, that is a good point. It's been a while since I've seen a cannon rush. It's been an even longer while since I've seen a successful pro level cannon rush. But yeah, I agree. I think the 1 gate opening it's a bit risky, right? Against Protoss. Whereas the 2 gate, it's standard. You guarantee that you have units and you're not gonna die, too quickly.
I would imagine that Zoun is going to throw down the pylon to block very soon. Because, oh, actually, just let the Astrea make the nexus. So one of the ways in which you punish a 1 gate Protoss is to throw down a pylon blocker at the natural, so that you kind of make him pay for going greedy.
Right. Oh, interesting. So are the shield batteries to extend the punishment, or are they actually used like to support Zoun's attacking units?
Yeah, because Astrea is going to be making his units off 1 gateway, Zoun making off a 2 gateway. So the idea is to make a shield battery so that he can kind of break the opening or break the front here. However, Astrea, he has his own shield battery, so he might be a bit troublesome.
Right. Oh. Already we're seeing a pretty interesting opening, but neither player has really lost too much. Now we do see Zoun has a completed Stargate, and it will be an Oracle first.
Oh, he actually lets it finish. I thought he was going to cancel that gateway, but okay, looks like he at least will get a warp in with that fucking gateway, so I guess not too bad to let that finish.
Right. Yep, he will get the warp in. Now, ooh.
Oh.
Did it? Wait, I completed or not?
Oh,
I think once you queue the warp in, it doesn't matter if the gateway is alive.
Yeah. It's once you queue up the warp in, then even if the gateway is sniped down, then the warp in still goes on. But here we go, 3 adepts here. Can he break through? Looks like a nice block, a pylon block, but there are still a decent amount of probes here. Anti-natural doesn't quite focus fire on them, so a little bit of missed opportunity. And this Oracle by Zoun actually getting some nice decent damage.
Yeah, Oracle DPS is very high, forcing Astrea to pop that shield battery overcharge at the main. And of course these probes are very awkwardly trying to handle the situation on the low ground. That Oracle is gonna fly away with 6 kills. Pretty decent. Pretty good.
Yeah, unfortunately for Astrea, his units was actually out in the middle of the map when that Oracle attacked. Uh, and I mean, usually you can kind of get away with a one shield battery, but again, like you said, those oracles, the DPS really high. So at certain points, the probes do get sniped down. In Austria, it's gonna have to find some way to even up the probe count.
Ooh, very bad for Astrea. His Warp Prism is going to get caught out, forcing the recall. Yeah, it looks so far like Zoun has really solidified his... Well, just as I say that, I checked the probe count, and it looks like Astrea is actually ahead in the number of probes, but I don't know, it feels like Zoun has the better tech, right? He has a Void Ray, he has Blink Stalkers, but at the same time, we do see Astrea going pretty heavy into Stargate tech himself, getting that +1 air upgrade as well as Phoenixes. And of course, against Protoss, Phoenixes are sort of like the more or less the best air unit that you can get, since they defeat all other air units.
Yeah, I think I really love this decision by Astrea. When when there's a game with a Phoenixes, or sorry, air versus air, Stargate versus Stargate. Usually the Protoss with the higher Phoenix count wins, and that's exactly what Astrea is going for. He is going to go ahead and mass produce out of these two Stargates. Maybe probably going for Fleet Beacon and get the Phoenix upgrade, the Phoenix range upgrade. And it can just get like out of control after that point. So yeah, we'll see how Zoun responds. Looks like he's going to go for a timing push before the Phoenix counts gets too crazy.
Yeah, I do like this timing a lot, right? Blink is just about to finish, and like you said, it's about trying to make sure that the Phoenix count doesn't get out of control. Because, trust me, I've played many team games where the opponents didn't touch me for a long time. I built up to like 40 Phoenixes, and you know, at that point it doesn't matter what you have. But here we go. It looks like Blink is done. Shield battery overcharge is popped for Astrea, but it's too late. These Stalkers are going to gun down the Immortals. Now, a lot of these Stalkers are falling, so is Astrea going to be able to clean this up? Phoenixes are going to come back in, lifting up the rest of the Stalkers. I don't think any probes have gone down, actually, and yeah, that was not too good for the blue Protoss.
Yeah, I want to say it's the power of the probes, but I think Astrea he just had just barely enough. I mean, he had the shield batteries. Even though they got sniped down, they bought him some time, some cycles of attacks, and again, those probes really helped out as well. Now Astrea, he's got the Phoenix count, he's got the Void Ray count. He's making more Void Rays out of the Stargate. I guess one of the other ways to win is to just mass up enough Void Rays so that when you go across the map and charge up, there's really nothing he can do. Even if you make like a bunch of Stalkers, like if you have an optimal amount of Void Rays with charge, it's just like your Stalkers get absolutely shredded.
Oh yeah, definitely. Given the attack pattern of the Stalkers. Now, speaking of Stalkers, Astrea's 4 Stalkers in the front are going to get caught by a Stasis Ward trap, so they are going to be stalled out for the time being. But yeah, like you said, I love that interaction between Void Rays and Phoenixes. It kind of reminds me of Corruptor Viper. I'm a Zerg main. Everything I think about relates to Corruptor Viper. And it's like, Corruptors and Vipers are great if you're out on the map. But once the enemy is at your side of the map, then you have a lot less room to work with. And it feels kind of similar for Phoenixes, right? If you're out and about in the map, just sort of gauging what your opponent is doing, harassing their lines, then you're having a great time. But as soon as the army is on top of you, on top of your defense, then it can get a little bit more dicey with the Phoenixes.
Yeah. Actually, it looks like Astrea's he's going straight into massive Void Ray, even getting the Void Ray upgrade, which you don't see that often. But yeah, this is going to get a really scary because air toss against ground toss in the late game, it's a little bit disastrous for the ground toss. So unless he can kind of really abuse his mobility with these Blink Stalkers, Once Australia is ready to move across the map, then that's gonna be pretty much GG. I mean, the best choice would be Zoun just base trading, but I don't know. It's gonna be quite difficult as Australia is preparing for all those. Yeah, he's got all these static defense to prepare for that.
Yeah, both units that Astrea is making right now, both essentially hard counter ground Protoss armies. Now, these Zealots are going to come in. One of them does get shaved off. It doesn't look like Zoun is too confident, not really able to come in and break that line of Void Rays. So it looks like he will head on home for the time being. And, you know, honestly, like, what can Zoun do in this situation, right? Like, he's down on tech, he's down on army supply. Yeah, this is not looking too good for our blue Protoss.
Yeah, at this point, he needs to call Santa Claus for a miracle right now. 'Cause, I mean, he can't break Australia. He just tried right there, but he couldn't. And now Australia's moving up all the way to a 4th base. That means 8 gases to power up his air tech. And yeah, Zoun making a desperate move, going for a 3 Stargate to try to catch up. But I mean, Australia's already making carriers.
Oh wow, for a second I thought those Zealots were probes. I don't know why I thought that. I was like, wow, Zoun is pretty desperate to break this.
That would be pretty funny though.
Yeah. Alright, we see 3 Phoenixes for Astrea, just sort of trading out whatever they can. I do like that Zoun set up a Zealot run-by to the north. You know, just do whatever you can. But given the amount of static defense that Astrea has, I don't think it's going to do anything.
Yeah, I think Australia is pretty held down in terms of defensively. 4 cannons, shield batteries as well. The thing is, he does not want to go to a 200 versus 200 army. I think if he lets Zoun build up to an air fleet that can maybe somewhat rival his, then all it takes is one bad fight and you know his lead is just evaporates. So I think Australia wants to attack like very soon.
Yeah, you can tell with his army movement, right? He's just poking and prodding. He's trying to avoid the main Skytoss army of Astrea for obvious reasons. But he's really desperate to try to find an opening, right? Because as soon as Astrea's army moves across the map, which by the way it's doing right now, as soon as that happens, there's no way that it's gonna be good for him. Ooh, a nice disruptor hit catches a bunch of the Zealots out. I like that move a lot. But here are the Void Rays.
Yep, Void Rays are gonna go ahead and take out one of the bases. So we basically have ourselves a base trade, which is kind of what I anticipated, just because of the army composition. We'll see how both players can, how fast they can kill each other's opponent's bases. But the firepower of Australia, I do favor.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, these Stalkers are, you know, they're doing their best. They're killing what they can. And I do like the Zealots here, but in the end, nothing is going to beat the sheer output of this Void Ray carrier army.
Oh, these poor carriers are going to actually be Void Ray to their death. And
yeah.
Look at how fast is that.
Ooh, GG is called. Astrea takes this game.
Alright, so Australia drew first blood, won game number 1. With some solid defense and some really nice air play, of course. We'll see if Zoun is going to go ahead and go for the ground or if he wants to transition into air this time around.
Ooh, okay. Is that like? I'd say it's worth it, right?
Oh yeah.
The gas deal.
I think so too.
Although knowing Astrea, it would probably give him an excuse to go into like charge lots or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's gonna have to spend his extra minerals into something because right now he's not mining off of that second gas. Now, of course, he can kind of make a gas at his second base, but he's got to wait for the Nexus to finish, or he can even mine it. So,
right.
oh wow,
Interesting. Proxy Robo. Okay.
this is very, very interesting. Okay, so Proxy Robo now. Of course, back in the days, in PvP, it used to be like all Robo and 3 gateway builds.
Yeah.
Proxy Robo's build, by the way. Of course, that has changed with shield batteries and stuff like that, but it's still viable sometimes. So, yeah.
Right. Especially because that gas was stolen, so Zoun can pretty much count on there not being a Stargate at home for Astrea.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, looks like Austria's Stalker is actually stuck behind that gateway. Bad rally right there.
Oh, unfortunate.
Forces a recall, of course. I'm sure he would have loved to save that energy for shield battery overcharge instead.
Right. Well, in any case, the first Immortal is out. A second one is going to pop very, very soon. Astrea does have enough Stalkers to hold this off for the time being, plus a shield battery at the high ground. But yeah, 2 Immortals, right? That's a pretty good army. We also see a couple of sentries being warped in. What do you think? I feel like Astrea has a pretty good chance to hold, right? As long as he holds out. The longer the game goes on, the more he is favored. But yeah, those 2 Immortals are pretty scary.
Yeah, I would love to see a second or third shield battery. Okay, there we go. Because I was saying the first shield battery is actually in the front where the Immortals can actually snipe it really easily.
Right.
And of course he has the warp. Zoun will have the warp prism, so he can kind of micro juggle his Immortals at the front. So yeah, I think Australia really needs to rely on the second or third shield battery. And there we go, the third shield battery on the way. But is it gonna be quick enough? The Australia desperately trying to clone out that first Immortal. Cybernetic Core gonna get sniped down, so no more Stalkers.
Yeah, that's pretty big actually. Ooh, force fields. Okay, traps a bunch of the Stalkers behind the initial army. An Observer is out for Zoun, giving him even more high ground vision, allowing that War Prism to warp pretty far back. Shield battery overcharge has been run out, so this is pretty critical. Another couple of pretty decent force fields shaving off another Stalker. This is pretty dicey. This is pretty scary.
Yeah, but look there, Austria's got the War Prism out in the back, so he's going to have the micro potential that Zoun is currently enjoying. However, I'm not sure about this. He only has 1 Immortal against 2 of Zoun. Oh, but these these Zealots actually providing a little bit of buffer at the front, but actually with some nice micro, Zoun will clean up the rest of these Zealots at the front for Australia.
Right, like you said, those Zealots are acting as a buffer, so they might do pretty decent damage, but they're mainly there to stall out, and once you're out of Zealots, you're pretty much out of time.
Yeah. Now, Australia has bought enough time for a second shield battery overcharge, so at the very least, he will have another go about it, and the more the game goes, Australia is going to be able to out-macro Zoun. So far, right now, Zoun is joined the army supply lead, but only just barely.
Oh, that War Prism. Oh! Okay, so the War Prism of Astrea does actually get sniped. Excellent micro by Zoun. Oh, a Disruptor comes out and kills 2 Zealots. Luckily, just before that War Prism was sniped, the 2 Immortals that were in it did drop out. So that did not, cost Astrea the game just yet, but this is still really, really scary.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for the reminder. Australia is up 1-0 in the score, so forgot to update the score, but here we go. Zoun is going to go ahead and try to attempt to even up the scoreboard. He is looking good actually thus far. I mean, there's Immortal still standing strong at the backside. Another disruptor shot could go off for Zoun. Oh, a second disruptor has joined into the fight. Astrea trying to get his first disruptor out, but it's not gonna be in time before another bunch of units gets sniped down.
Oh, okay, excellent Warp Prism Micro, picking up just before the disruptor shots can actually hit. Now Astrea, that is, has a disruptor of his own. He's going to be able to sort of fight back a little bit. So, you know, I love this because we're basically witnessing an escalation, right? So one side has Immortals, the other side needs to get Immortals. Then the first side needs to gets disruptors. The second side needs to catch up, right? That's what we're seeing. So this is a very, very funny little dance that we're watching.
Yeah, and this is the most important dance because Zoun has no second base to speak of. He is all in essentially at this point, and all Astrea needs to do is hold. If he holds, he wins. If he doesn't, then Zoun's gonna win.
Right. Now, how many disruptors are out? We see two. Oh! A huge disruptor hit might just have cost Astrea the game. These stalkers are out for blood. Zealots are going to warp in and push them back yet again. But that was a pretty big disruptor hit. I don't know exactly what it killed, but it killed a bunch of stalkers. It killed a sentry. I think it even killed one of the Immortals, right?
Yeah, I mean, it killed a bunch of stuff. Let's just say that. I mean, Astrea had a group of army, and yeah, I think Astrea was trying to focus fire on the disruptor, but wasn't quite quick enough, and cost him a bunch of army there. Now he still is holding decently strong, considering, but man, no shoot battery energy to speak of for Astrea.
Oh! These disruptor hits are getting absolutely insane. Both players are taking pretty heavy losses, but I don't know, I feel like overall, and that disruptor from Astrea is not going to survive to complete its shot. Yeah, this is not looking too good. I don't know about this. Ooh, some friendly fire though for Zoun. I don't know if you caught that, but his disruptor way in the back actually shaved off a few of his own stalkers. So this game is insane. I'm just going to rely on the supply count from now on just to see where we're at, because so far these fights are absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, but it looks like Zoun is losing steam as he, again, still on one base.
Yeah.
He has limited resources, and and that does it. The Warp Prism is sniped down, and Astrea with a nice hold. He takes it 2-0.
Oh, wow.